And then to study the informed text as part of systematic curriculum, and I showed you what some of those are. And then the last one here is spirit. Basically is to be lively and animated, and to, they can develop the arts, they can play sports, but the point is that every activity that they're doing has some kind of purpose. And the animators can help them, or they can figure out the activities they want to do together, but they're going to basically do something for a purpose. Like some of the activities I mentioned already, they have a particular purpose. And then foster a healthy environment conducive to spiritual, social, and intellectual growth. So I think we all know what that is. This is a game, another game, and the way this game works is they take a bundle of strings and they throw the bundle of strings across the circle, and then that person throws it to somebody else until they create this web. And their job with the web, and it's kind of challenging, so once they've created the web, they need to reverse order, send the string back. So the first one is like throwing a string and it's not going anywhere, and then they finally figure out, and slowly they get faster and faster and they start figuring it out. So this is a kind of a cooperation game. Us here could be animators, and they become trained as a facilitator and a mentor to the junior youth groups, and they essentially act like friends, and that they're the friends, and they have kind of leadership qualities in the sense of by example, servant leadership. So they're not there to be the teacher or the leader, if you will. They're there to be a friend and someone to help guide the group and say, you know what, I have been where you have been before. Okay, so I just want to give you a sample of something. I already mentioned this before. We prefer not to determine ahead of time, in any solid way, set in stone or anything, what a junior youth group actually is. I mean, we know what the vision is of what we want to create. But essentially, no two junior youth groups are the same. And here is an example of something that a junior youth group wrote together. It's called a youth declaration. And it's something that we like to have the junior youth groups do, usually, is to kind of create an identity, and they'll write this youth declaration together. Some of them don't do it, but if they do it, it's even better. And here's a sample. They said, "We're no longer children and should seriously think about our future. The world in which we live is filled with suffering and afflicted with disunity. We want to build a new world where people live in harmony and where war and poverty no longer exist. In order to build a new world, we should begin with our own community. This is why we now speak about material and spiritual progress in our small village. We should improve our agriculture, take better care of our health, have more schools, and be active in business and industry. With the fruits of our labors, we should turn our homes, our village, and our surroundings into places of great beauty, where we can all enjoy a clean and sanitary environment." So you can see each junior youth group so different. This has a particular quality to it from a particular place in the world that has these conditions, and they want to improve them. Here's another sample activity. This game is called the Human Knot. And all of the junior youth group stand in a big circle facing each other. And every participant first puts their right hand in and grabs someone else's hand, but not from those who are standing next to them. Then they do it again with their left hand, grabbing someone else's hand. And what this does is it ends up creating this huge knot of people. And their job is then to untangle themselves, kind of to make themselves into a single loop. Some people might be standing backwards, but essentially they create this huge loop. And it's very tough because they need to, like, you know, go over people and under people and everything. And that is a huge game for cooperation. Its purpose is to demonstrate the solving of problems, the developing of communication skills, working together as a community. So this is a junior youth group in India, and they are studying some of the material. And so how does someone join a junior youth group? They can get a group of friends together. This is really, you know, this is one of many ways of forming a junior youth group. To get a group of friends together and then find a junior youth animator and let them know that you want to start the group. So, and these are actually in the United States. I believe at least this one is in Florida. So, okay, so like the one in Florida was doing a dance presentation. This one is doing a different kind of presentation. They've come up with different drawings and stuff, and they've created a quilt of these drawings, and they're about peace. The discussion is about peace. So they're exploring what that means to them. Okay, so this is really one of the last major slides. The components of the program: service, activities, study, arts, recreation, and there might be some other components depending on the group.